Hello, George McDermott, my friend. This is Glendora.
Hi, Glendora. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, George McDermott, down in Maryland?
I'm just heading to the Court of Federal Claims.
Now, would you read us that law that I got the idea you said it did away with our Constitution?
In just a second, that's what I'm sending to the court right now.
Oh,
Let me get it. I'll read it to you, okay?
okay. George McDermott is in Washington, D.C. right now. Helping others.
Hold on a second, okay?
Yep. We enjoy it.
Okay.
Satisfaction guaranteed. Okay, George.
Okay.
Get as close as you can to your mic, to your camera.
Okay. It starts out as the statutes replaced with international law circa 1933, December 9th, 1945.
Read that again, George. Read that again.
Statutes replaced with international law.
Statutes replaced
Statutes.
with international law.
Law circa 1933, December 9th, 1945. The International Organization and Immunities Act relinquished every public office of the United States to the United Nations. Source, the government, and the source is government publication, government agents acting as offshore statute merchants whenever the form in which the government functions, anyone entering into the arrangement with the government takes the risk of having accurately ascertained that he who purports to act for the government stays within the bounds of his authority.
Now, I want you to read that again, please, would you?
Whatever, okay, the government agents acting as offshore statute merchants, whatever the form in which the government functions, anyone entering into an arrangement with the government takes the risk of having accurately ascertained that he purports to act for the government stays within the bounds of his authority.
Well, now what's that mean?
That means that if you take an oath of office to be an agent of the government, any agent, you have an oath of office and you've sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution, which is the rule of law of the nation. And that's, you hear congressmen state that all the time.
Yes, okay? And everybody else does. Give me an example.
Well, the President of the United States takes an oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But when they act outside of that oath of office and they start to, as in our current case, we have agents who in his office who are subverting the Constitution, they should be charged with treason. They have illegally helped someone get elected to an office who he didn't qualify for, or he's using for his own personal benefit or authority.
I don't get it, George. I don't get it.
Okay, well, let me finish reading this, because this is just, it's a fairly long document. You keep stopping me in the middle of it. Okay?
Well, I have to, honey, because I don't understand it. Okay, I have to stop
I understand. Most people do not understand. This is published law, okay? I told you I would send it to you, and you said no. The scope of the authority may be explicitly defined by Congress or be limited by delegated legislation properly exercised through the rulemaking power. And this is so even though, as here, the agents themselves may have been unaware of their limitations upon his authority.
What's that mean, George?
Well, when you take an oath of office, you have limitations. Your limitations are that you have to act within the bylaws of that corporation. The United States of America is a for-profit private corporation. All the agencies and the sub-agencies and within the government are all separate private for-profit corporations that have their own bylaws, but all those bylaws are tied to the U.S. Constitution, our Bill of Rights. Okay?
No, I still don't get it.
Okay. Do you want me to continue with this, or you want me to just?
Yeah, I would like to know, you said that they did away with the Constitution.
Well, in 1933 and 1945, it actually started in 1871 when they took and they abolished the Constitution, the original Constitution of the United States of America, and they transferred the United States of America into a for-profit corporation under Title 28 U.S.C. Rule 3002, Section 15A states that the United States is a federal corporation and not a government, including the Judiciary Procedures Section.
Well, why did they do that?
Because foreign interference, big money. You've been saying this for years. The Rothschilds, the banks, the international bankers, all got together and they subverted our law, and they've put a lot of lawyers in place, and these lawyers have just became congressmen and senators, and they believe that they can modify our Constitution without constitutional amendment. I can't understand how they could possibly have dissolved the original Constitution and incorporated it to a new federal corporation without an amendment to our Constitution passed by all the states as required.
Yeah, that's right, George.
Yeah, so how can they possibly do this?
So it's not
it's subversion, and it gets even worse now. Now it goes on here. It says neither the for-profit government nor the foreign government state merchant / agent has access to sovereign immunity. As a member of a corporation, the government never exercised its sovereignty. It acts merely as a corporator and exercises no other power in the management of the affairs of the corporation.
So this is the international bankers taking over the USA?
Yes. Yes, the lawyers, the international, the Bar of England and the American Bar Association, they took over our country without even raising a sword.
Yeah.
They did it all. They did it all under the cloak of darkness, in private chambers, and it's just recorded law.
And you wrote to every member of the Congress to say if these two laws are in effect?
I wrote to every member of the U.S. Congress and Senate, and I mailed it off as video, posted at secretjustice.com, program 1100 and I think it's 1146 and 47, where I was right at the mail office of the U.S. House and Senate, and paid for it out of my own pocket to print it and to mail it. I gave them all 15 days to May 15th to respond. Not one response from anybody, not one response from any judge. I petitioned every member of the Court of Federal Claims judges, every judge individually, every judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, every judge of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, every judge for the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland, every judge for the U.S. Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals individually, every judge of the Supreme Court of the United States, asking them to
how many
certification of a question of law whether this amendment by the Congress of the United States is the rule of law. And not one response.
And how many people was that, George? 500?
Oh, so it's almost 800. By the time you go to all the members, 535 members just to the Congress.
And you did this by United States mail?
I did it by United States mail. I made a video of it, me mailing it, and so I paid for all of it out of my own pocket.
And so, George, we aren't protected by the Constitution?
Well, we're actually under international law, and we're protected. Really, I'm getting ready to file a claim under the ICCPR, international human rights violations under the UN. That now our government and our agents have failed to do their job.
Well, are we not? Are we not protected by the Constitution?
No. You go into court, the judges today laugh at the Constitution because they know that they're not foreign agents. Let me read down here a little further. Okay?
Yeah, but I don't understand it. Go ahead.
Okay. The reason why law is necessary and full disclosure going to specificity into play, commercial proceedings, once they're summoned into any of these private merchant corporate courts outlined under Title 8 of the U.S. Constitution, Sections 22 and 28, the U.S. Code, which in December 26, 1933 and 1949, Statute 3097, Treaty Series 881, Convention of Rights and Duties of the States. Now, there was an international treaty that we were entered into that transferred all of our statutes into international law in our courts, but nobody told any of the citizens that, did they?
Give me an example of a statute in international law.
International statutes are outlined under the UCCPR, International Human Rights Convention. It's a rule. It's a rule of the international law that corresponds with the Constitution. In our case, it's, right here it says Title 28 USC 3097.
George,
okay, that's a statute. That means that's a law that was passed by Congress and is recorded in the United States Code.
George, what's it mean to us? What does it do to our...
We've been robbed. Everybody in this country is being robbed of our rights by these judges who do not respect their place or their place of authority or their obligation to the citizens, we the people of the United States, who are supposed to be their employers. All they do is they protect corporate interest over everything else. The judges are only interested in protecting the corporate interest in corporations and their employees and assigns, and the average citizen who pays the taxes gets stepped on and pushed into the dirt.
It's my experience that all the judges are interested in is getting money out of people.
Well, that's all they are. That's all they are. And it goes on here to say, okay, the statutes on international placing united all states rights and duties stated Congress replaced statutes with international law, placing all states under international law December 9, 1945. Also, the Organization and Immunities Act relinquished every office of the United States to the United Nations. Title 8 U.S.C. 1481 stated that once an oath of office is taken, citizenship is relinquished. Thus, you become a foreign entity, agent, or a state. That means that every public office is a foreign state, including all political subdivisions, i.e. every single court, and that court's personnel is considered a separate foreign entity.
And that happens when what? They take an oath?
Once they take their oath of office. Because you got to realize, if you're under international law, you can't, even under federal law, you can't be a corporate representative and still be an unbiased person. So by making you relinquish your citizenship so that you can exercise your authority under international law, you know, you can't have it both ways.
Does that mean every member of Congress who took an oath,
they had to relinquish that according to this, and not never will answer this question. Not one. Because they know that the only answer is the law is the law. Ignorance of the law is nothing else. It's ignorance. You know what the law is. You've got this statute right in front of you. It's listed under 22 CFR 92, period 12-92, comma 31, FR heading, foreign relationship state that our oath of office is required to take before you can take your office.
George,
so before you can take your office as a congressman or senator, you have to sign that oath of office, which automatically relinquishes you as a citizen of the United States.
Is that so, George, really?
What?
Is that so?
Well, all I can do is I told you where it's published at.
Now,
it's Title 8 U.S.C. 1481 of the United States Code. It was enacted in 1945 under the International Organization and Immunities Act.
All right. Now, George, you're running for Congress.
Yes.
And you are going to win the Republican primary because your opposition withdrew.
Well, I'll win. I already go through to the. I already advanced to the general election because my opposition withdrew because I got almost 70,000 votes in the last election. He got like 20,000.
So you are going to have a Republican candidacy. Is that so?
I am a Republican candidate. Yes.
Yeah, and you're going to have it now, and you're up to the general election. George, did you say if it is true that you have to relinquish your citizenship, you will not take an oath of office?
I will not. I've already stated that to the Federal Election Commission. I've asked the Federal Election Commission for a ruling that to either verify or show me where in the Constitution this treaty has been abolished or modified. I've asked all members of Congress if it comes down to me taking a public office in a foreign corporation over retaining my citizenship in the United States of America, I will forfeit the election and then give it to the Democratic opponent.
Really? Well, that means
yes.
that means that Donald Trump is no longer a citizen of the United States?
According to this, anybody who's taken an oath of office has relinquished their citizenship, whether they knew it or not. They should have known it. They should have been told about it. they are no longer citizens of the United States. So every candidate out there running now who holds an office in the government, state or federal, that has taken that oath of office, they're really not qualified to even run because they are no longer citizens of the legislative or judicial district that they run from.
All right. Now, George, this of course is staggering. I will have to come back to you. I will have to come back to you for another talk.
Okay, no problem.
And if they are not citizens of the United States, then what are they?
They are they're foreign sovereigns is what they're called. That means they are sovereign. They have a separate private corporation as a foreign sovereign, and that they have relinquished any and all of their alleged judicial or executive immunity if they violate their oath of office.
Okay, what I get out of this is, number one, the United States is not a government. It's a corporation.
It is not a government, no.
It is a corporation.
It's a federal corporation and not a government, including the Judiciary Procedures Section.
And this started in 1871, 1933, and then you said there was a...
1871 when they abolished when they took over and turned everything in the United States over to the corporation.
Give me a chance to finish my sentence.
Yes.
1871, 1933, and I believe you mentioned a 1944?
1944, 1945, 1949 is when the action took place. It's December 26, 1933-1949, Statute 3097, Treaty Series 881, the Convention of Rights and Duties of the States.
And then I am to gather from this that if you take an oath of office, you're not a citizen of the USA anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you will not relinquish your citizenship.
I will not relinquish my citizenship. I was born a free person in the United States of America, and I was unaware until just this year that these laws exist. They've been secreted from myself and every other person in the United States, and that's why we are now like $22 trillion in debt.
So this is very shocking news, isn't it?
What?
This is very shocking news.
Yes.
It's a very shocking situation.
What's more shocking is nobody, even after almost 800 people have been notified, and the courts, that no one will answer the question.
Nobody's, and this was how long ago you asked them?
Oh, this is May 1st. I sent out...
and today is June 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. May 1st. Today is June 1st. But I mean, I started it with all the members of the House and Senate back in July last year.
Well, George...
2017.
Okay, now George McDermott, I want to thank you for your effort. And what you're doing, I want to thank you for trying to explain it to us. I think I'll have to revisit it again to follow it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is your assistant there? I heard somebody in the background with you.
Yeah, my friend Gregory Washburn is here. Did you want to talk to him?
Yes, if possible.
Okay, George McDermott, this is Gregory Washburn. Gregory, this is George.
Oh, hi, George.
How you doing, Gregory?
Hi, I'm pretty good, sir.
Are you the one who puts up the internet work for Glendora?
Yes, yeah, I try to assist her on that, yeah.
Well, you know, I do a news clip every time. I mean, I've got 1,167 videos up there right now at secretjustice.com.
Oh, yeah?
And every time I go to a court, I stand outside the court, or I'm going to for a proceeding, and I record exactly. So all these things that I'm telling you, you'll see me standing outside of the various state and federal courts, reciting exactly what's happening to our nation's court system.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
and I would like to send in some clips up to Glendora, news clips to her, but it can't get an email address or anything. She said she can't see them, but maybe you could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe I could. So, yeah.
Because you're welcome. This is all public documents. I mean, if I was wrong, okay, just look at it this way. If I was wrong, how in the world would I be able to run as a sixth-term candidate for the United States Congress after asking for the impeachment and indictment of over 200 state and federal judges?
Uh-huh.
I would be under the jail.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I see.
Okay?
I think I see, yeah.
So, I just, all my stuff is this is all thanks to Glendora. I started this because of Glendora.
Yeah.
When I first met her, and she told me about getting this stuff out. Unfortunately, I am a dinosaur born in the 21st century when it comes to electronic computer hosting stuff.
Yeah, Glendora's got she's got a Gmail address. Glendora, do you want to have your address, your email? So her Gmail address is, a chat with Glendora at gmail.com.
Okay.
And I read her Gmail every day or every other day at least, and I assist her on that, taking care of her business a little bit.
Okay. No, I just figured, she might want to pick up on, because these are all, I was in court all day yesterday. I was in the FBI offices yesterday, made a video in Baltimore. I made a video in the U.S. District Court in Baltimore and Greenbelt, the U.S. Trustee's office in Greenbelt, is the U.S. Attorney's office in Greenbelt. Everybody lacks jurisdiction. No one can hear all of these people are saying they lack jurisdiction to investigate fraud on the court and conspiracy and obstruction of justice. And so I just when I make the video, I put it up there and let people see what is really going on, because like right now I've got to get down to the Court of International Claims and federal claims in D.C. I've got to file a motion because I'm letting them know I'm taking action in the Court of International Justice, and that I'm going to have to go up to New York to file a claim under the ICCPR because I've gotten right now over 500 unsigned orders from courts.
Oh yeah. So you have you put your videos on your website. Do you put them on? Do you post them on YouTube at all?
I can't get them on. I'm like I said, I haven't even got my website for my Congress. I spend so much time working, helping other people in court that I don't even have time to put my own stuff up. But I have Dick Wolfley, which used to do Glendora's. He puts up all of them when I send them to him in Florida. He posts them on my website. But I feel this is relevant evidence. This is relevant to the survival of our nation. That we can't let these justices and judges be making laws that diminish the integrity of our Constitution.
That's Glendora's Gmail address, and if you could, I don't know if you could send a video to her in an email, possibly.
I'll send you one right now. Like I said, all my stuff is posted. I just got a letter from President Trump the other day thanking me for informing him of treason against the Constitution involving the courts.
Oh, really? Really?
it's there's a little. But on the same day I got that, I got a letter from the Office of the Inspector General stating that we have no jurisdiction to investigate fraud in the courts or fraud by the courts. Now, the President's letter was signed. The Office of the Inspector General's no signature whatsoever. So that's, right off the bat, that's a fraud.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Oh, that's something. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Glendora's.
Write down secretjustice.com, and when you click on it, you'll see the videos come right up, and you'll see that I've got 1,167 different videos posted there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've heard of your website. I heard of your website before. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all I can do is give people the key. If they use a key to open the door to get educated, that's great. If they refuse to use the key, then they stay in the darkness.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. It's just like Glendora. She's enlightened people. I've been to many of her court proceedings.
Oh yeah.
In New York. Yeah. I mean, and she was a real fighter. She still is a fighter.
Yeah.
God has her on a different path right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I went up to court with her. I've been up and seen her. I wish I could get back up there and see her again, and I will if God willing the creek don't rise.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
I will see if I can get off here and email you up something, but I've only got an hour to get to court. So I'll have to do it after 5 o'clock or something.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay.
Okay. I guess Glendora will speak with you again, I suppose.
Okay, I'm sure she will.
All right.
She always wants to tell me the latest joke.
Okay. Glendora, do you want to?
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to tell him a joke or something there?
Okay, I'll tell you some jokes.
Okay.
I shoved the camera. Is it in place?
It's okay. So yeah,
it's okay?
Your chair's right ahead of you there.
Is that okay?
Oh, you got your. All right, get that off. So.
Okay, George. Let's see. The lawyer says, I want a new trial on the basis of new evidence, and the judge says, what's the new evidence? And the lawyer says, I just found out my client has another $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the lawyer says, I'll take your case on a retainer basis, and that will be $3,000, and that entitles you to 2 questions. And the client says, $3,000, 2 questions, isn't that expensive? Perhaps the lawyer said, what's your second question?
Yeah. Did you realize that there's never been a law passed that allows lawyers to represent us in court?
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't believe, yeah.
There's never been an amendment to our Constitution that allows that.
Yeah?
They're all straw men. They are all fictitious agents who are raping the Constitution in the United States.
Yeah, you ought to stand in court and just say one thing. Where's your statutory authority?
That's exactly what I say.
Okay, listen, this has been long enough, George, okay?
Well, thank you, Glendora. You have a blessed day.
I'm trying, and I'll try again.
Hey, your friend's name again?
Gregory Washburn. Washburn.
Washburn?
Yes, Washburn.
Yeah, it's nice to speak with you, George.
Nice to speak with you, George.
You don't happen to know... I was in business with Washburn down here in Washington, D.C. I'll send you an email, Gregory.
Sure.
And you'll have a blessed day.
Okay, you too. So.
Thank you.
All right, bye now. So.
Well, George?
Huh?
George, may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, rule in your heart and mind, then.
Amen to that.
All right, dear.
God bless.
You say bye-bye.